Welcome to Christian Nutrition, the show where we review every single episode of VeggieTales chronologically. And by we, I mean just me. Lord of the Beans was released in November of 2005, and yes, it is a Lord of the Rings parody. I do realize that I skipped Duke and the Great Pie War and the first Minnesota Cuke episode. However, that was on accident. I already got this scripted and I got to hear the shooting and I realized, oh yeah, I skipped 2 episodes. November 2005 is too late. But anyways, I will backtrack to those next time. Now on to Lord of the Beans. As I said before, most of Generation 2's VeggieTales are parodies, and nothing represents parodies more than this episode. This episode is most people's favorite VeggieTales episode from the last decade. Now I know Lord of the Rings is beloved by most, but I must say, I don't really care for Lord of the Rings. And I know that might sound blasphemous, but I just never cared for them. I always get through Fellowship. I try watching them and I get through Fellowship. I get halfway through 2 Towers, sometimes less than that, and I fall asleep every single time. So while I know how Lord of the Rings ends because, you know, everyone told me, I've never actually seen all 3 movies. Yes, and Junior is going to play Frodo. I've accepted this. I've moved on. I won't try to blast him for it. With that in mind, let's review Lord of the Beans.
Larry said he'd be right back. Said he had some kind of a surprise or something.
How is Larry pedaling a unicycle?
Do you like it? I saved up 500 box tops from Frosted Flaky Flipper cereal, and it's finally here. My new ukulele.
He is the only man/vegetable to ever have the patience to save up those box tops to get a reward. Good work.
You can't even reach the pedals. How are you doing that?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Bob. Explain, VeggieTales, explain. VeggieTales does not explain, which is quite disappointing. As it turns out, some kid named Dylan wrote into VeggieTales that he has a gift and he has no idea what to do with it. Now, he doesn't mean like a Christmas gift, he means like a skill, which leads us into...
Randolph, you're late.
Toto Baggy Pants, I am never late. I arrive precisely when I intend to.
I think I've seen this somewhere before.
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Ah, yes. From here on out, if there is an equivalent scene in Lord of the Rings that's being parodied here in Lord of the Beans, I will try to show them side by side. Uh-oh, are they about to bro down? I want to point out that this is my favorite scene in all of Lord of the Rings. It's so chill, relaxed, and fun, and you get to know the characters. We then immediately move on to nighttime where everyone is celebrating Bilbo's birthday, where everything is going swimmingly. As it turns out, the Hobbit, Bilbo, is Frodo's uncle and he is old as dirt.
122 years is too short a time to live among such fine folk.
If I could live that long, it would be a whole new world from the one I was born into.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew.
I'm twice as tall as half of you and half as short as twice of you.
Sorry guys, if I don't stop showing every single scene that is a replica from Lord of the Rings, we'll be here all day. Bilbo then explains how he feels overstressed. He sings a song about being truly happy and how he has yet to obtain that happiness.
You think you're awfully clever, don't you?
Uh-oh. Busted. Gandalf busts Bilbo on having gained height and acquiring a whole lot of new stuff. Bilbo confesses that he is a bean and it has given him everything he has ever asked for, except for filling that hole in his heart that he seems to be unable to ever fill. Bilbo says he is giving everything to Frodo/Toto, including the bean. When will we see a Hobbit VeggieTales parody? Even I don't know that one. Toto then asks what is so special about the bean. Gandalf explains how there were 4 beans given a long time ago, each with their own special powers.
The first bean could grow any kind of food or drink you could imagine. The second could change your looks, your height, your hair. The third produced the finest clothing. And the fourth, small kitchen appliances.
Small kitchen appliances?
Small
kitchen appliances?
I just asked that, Toto. Get your own questions. Gandalf explains that there was actually a fifth bean that would give anything. This, of course, being that bean. Gandalf tells Toto to put it into the fire to prove that this is the bean.
What does it say?
It says, if you can read this, you're too close.
I see this bean has some attitude. Plant it out in the backyard so we can teach it a lesson and grow a beanstalk. Toto checks the other side of the bean, which tells him to use it wisely. Toto then says that he does not want the bean, but Gandalf explains how we are all given gifts and we must accept them. Gandalf also explains that the elders of the Raspberry Forest may be able to help Toto. Remarking how that is quite a ways to travel, Gandalf assures him that it will be well worth it.
There are other dangers. Your gift is not unknown. The Dark Lord Scary Man would give anything to have it for his own.
Scary Man?
Dark Lord Scary Man. You know, up until this point, I was taking VeggieTales pretty seriously. I thought they were doing like a true, like real, just like a Lord of the Rings parody, but they're being silly, and I'm okay with that.
I've been given a gift, and I want to know what it's for. I need to know what I'm to do with it.
Yes! The time has come. Adventure awaits.
I'm off on a hero's journey, out where adventure lies on a quest the poets will sing about.
You're off on a hero's journey,
A champion through and through, more or less, doing what all the heroes do.
Toto and Gandalf form a team to travel on this great journey.
I give you the Fellowship of the Bean!
The Fellowship of the Bean then does exactly what the vast majority of what you see in the other Lord of the Rings movies do: endlessly walk. They eventually reach the Raspberry Forest, where it turns out that the trees are the elders. You would think this was the Wizard of Oz or something. Gandalf explains how no one can laugh or smile, otherwise the trees will be upset.
Randolph, son of Mandal, did you come here to admire my jewelry?
No, Lord Falaminian Teraglyph, son of Therabil Elithaman.
Of course, someone is bound to laugh or smile eventually. Everyone except Gandalf smiles, but Larry's laughing ends up being the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, for complete honesty purposes, I already explained how I've only made it through part of the way through Two Towers, so obviously I've never seen all of it, and I've never seen Return of the King. So if there's direct scenes they're parodying here and I'm missing, please don't hurt me.
I said no matter what happens, don't laugh or smile. Didn't I say that?
Yes, you did, Gandalf. Us millennials are a band of rebels who don't listen to the man. Except for when we do, and which happens all the time.
The last fellow I knew who made fun of their language was up here for 12 years.
Didn't they let him go?
No, he was blown off in a windstorm.
Wow, VeggieTales is getting dark on us. Toto then sings about not knowing what his gift is. I don't know about you, but he has the fifth bean. I really feel like I could get him out of this situation somehow. Plus, what does he mean he doesn't know what to do with the bean? Gandalf explained what the bean did, so how is he confused? But anyways, they ignore the possibility that the, bean might be able to help them and try to escape by jumping on a bird.
What was that? Oh, there's a bird. Let's jump on him.
I agree. What a bunch of jerks.
Maybe he'll fly us wherever we want to go. Maybe he'll serve us drinks and little bags of peanuts.
That would be nice. Is that an option? I would like that to be an option. Gandalf and the gang escape the Raspberry Forest only to come to the Blue Gate. The Fellowship of the Bean approaches the Blue Gate and reads what is written on it. As it turns out, it is a riddle. Toto figures out the answer, and then the gate opens up to reveal what seems to be a small door.
It's a trick. It's an optimal illusion. It only looks small because it's so far away.
I could be wrong. Maybe if you ran faster.
Oh, how I love the sarcasm. Good work. Of course, Toto is the only one small enough to get through the door, because why not? A stranger comes along and informs the rest of the Fellowship that they can enter via the Red Gate. Apparently, it's wide open.
And now it's time for Silly Songs with Elves, the part of the show where Iricorn comes out and sings a silly song for elves.
Elvis, elves. I see what you did there.
But I don't mind none, 'cause he's my elf. My elf. What are you doing? Ouch! Hey!
You should be ashamed of yourself. You're no elf. You're an Elvis impersonator.
Well then, Toto finally meets Mr. Lunt, who's playing the character that I refer to as Precious. You know, the thing that he says endlessly and just gets really annoying. like a million times. It's just, please die. He explains that he once had a bean and it has essentially ruined him ever since he lost it. The rest of the Fellowship find the red gate, but it's actually colored yellow. Then they see the evil sporks, the enemy which they have had 0 encounters with thus far, but for some reason is now an issue 40 minutes into a 50-minute episode. They try to fight them and ultimately get trapped.
A drink would do me good.
Forget about it. It's been dry for years.
Where do they get their water?
They don't have any.
Well, then use your super bean to fix it, Toto. The villagers beg Toto for water when we suddenly cut back to the Fellowship being pinned down by sporks, when all of a sudden...
Something smells good.
What could possibly be smelling good at a time like this?
Who wants a cookie?
Huh? We ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. I love a cookie.
Nothing tastes better than a cookie baked in a tree.
Oh my gosh. He literally existed to tell this one joke. I love it. That's great. Can we do that more? Why can't that be a thing that they do more? Toto decides that he wants to help these poor villagers with his gift. Now, how does he do this?
I want to fix this land.
The bean is not the Master Ball from Pokemon. You can use it more than once. And also, that was a terrible climax. Lord of the Rings did this better. I actually went and looked up the ending to Lord of the Rings, and yeah, it's way better than this one.
Take my hand!
Now that is epic. Wow, that was conveniently fast, even for VeggieTales.
To have a gift is a wonderful thing.
Way to ruin the moment, Junior.
They took the What Have We Learned song!
But you hate that song, Bob.
But Bob, you didn't even like that song.
Yeah, thank you for backing me up, Larry.
For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10.
Lots of people just use their special gifts for themselves, to make money or to get rich or famous.
Sadly enough, we are only taught to please ourselves in this world, putting others second.
We're out of time for today. Remember,
God made you special.
and He loves you very much. Goodbye!
That was Lord of the Beans, and it was a pretty good episode. Definitely not a clunker and definitely not just average. But it wasn't that amazing. I'm sure people who actually enjoy Lord of the Rings enjoyed it more than I did. As a parody of something like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, which I know exists, or Back to the Future would really be more in my wheelhouse. But due to my lack of knowledge from the trilogy and the fact that it's like 9 hours to watch, I'm just not ever gonna watch it, you guys, unless someone forces me to. For me, Beans just doesn't cut it. Yeah, I just made a fart joke on purpose. The Elvis song was just okay, but the ending joke to it was pretty good. And the Treehouse Elf, that was the best part of this episode. It's not even debatable. Stay tuned, as next time we are reviewing Duke and the Great Pie War. Now, I want to clarify that there still hasn't been a gem of an episode in quite a while. If I were to just top my head, I would say Lyle and the Kindly Viking, if we're not counting the Jonah movie. But hopefully Duke will be the triumphant return of VeggieTales in its prime. Or, you know, hopefully it'll at least have a catchy tune. Remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much. Bye!